Well, hello and happy Friday. Can you believe it's Friday already? And you're very, very welcome to today's Room Junkie Live. Now, today we've got a topic that's so close to my heart, it could almost be my mastermind topic. And before I get into it, I'm actually going to turn the lights on Instagram as well. And we are there. Oh, okay, today it looks like we will not be going live on Instagram because I hit something that hasn't put us live. But listen, don't worry, there will be a replay here as soon as we have it. So you're very, very welcome to come join me because this topic I could speak about forever and ever and ever. Most people, in my opinion, hang their art way too high. So if you're one of those people, just pour yourself a cup of tea or have your lunch and just listen in. And if you're coming in on the replay, just send me a little hashtag replay. And if you've got a question, I will answer that for you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Anne Toohey. I'm an interior designer and I am your host for today and every day on the Room Junkie Show, where we're live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. With all sorts of tips and techniques and inspiration to help you create the perfect home for you. Because way back during lockdown, I was live here every single day and we fostered the most amazing community of people, and so many friendships have been started on those Room Junkie lives that now we've brought them to real life and we've met up and it's just been incredible. So listen, you're so welcome. Let me know where you are in the world and let me know what you're doing this Friday. So I get stuck in because I want to keep this to 30 minutes so that it doesn't take too much of your time. Okay, most people hang their art too high. So the first thing I want you to do is get one of these tape measures and have it in your handbag or in your toolbox or in your bottom drawer all of the time. Don't have a stretchy one, get one like this. This one I picked because I was so fed up of builders taking away my tape measures that I used to have a pink one and now I've got a green one. So there's an art gallery rule, and it's a rule based in logic. And the art gallery rule is, hi Kavina, looking forward, internet is frozen on your side. Oh no, I think I'm back. I think it only froze momentarily. We have a beautiful sunshiny day here, so there's no wind that's going to affect me. So the art gallery rule, I am freezing. The art gallery rule is 60 inches from the floor to the center of your art. So when I say the center of your art, I mean, you know, you've got the wire at the back of your art. When you pull that taut, that's where you're going to be hanging your art. So that's the point that I want to be at 60 inches from the floor. But a good rule of thumb is center of the art, 60 inches to the bottom of the floor. So measure when you're measuring, pull your cord tight so that you get the right height when you're getting your little hook in to hang the art. But if you remember that, if that's all that you take from today, 60 inches from the floor to the center of your art, you will always have your art hanging properly. I can remember a gorgeous girl down in Cove, Carmel O'Regan, who was a great, well, still is a great Room Junkie fan, and we actually got to meet in Cork at one of the live courses, masterclasses. And she said that when she heard me say this in the past, she actually removed all the art in her house. And if you're getting your house painted, this is a really good thing to do. And if you're getting your room painted, ask the painter to fill in the holes. It'll only take him minutes to do that, but it means that you have a blank canvas for hanging your art properly. And I know that some of you now in January are actually getting the painters in and you are doing a bit of a refresh, which is why you're so interested in all the tips and techniques and hints and things that I'm sharing with you. So what Carmel did was she took down all of her art and then she had it rehung using the 60-inch rule. And she sent me a message to say something incredible has happened. Not only do I know now that my art is hanging at the right height, but it's almost brought this uniformity throughout the entire house. And I know exactly what she means, because when your art is not hung properly, it jars your eye, your instinct, your gut knows it's not right. You're craning your neck to see an art. So I'm going to try and demystify this as much as I can in the space of time that we've got here. Now, hanging one piece of art is easy enough if you remember the 60-inch rule. 60 inches from the floor to the center. Get your hanging point right and hang it. If you're hanging or grouping, say 4 pieces of art, or like the art behind me, there's 2 pieces of art. What I want you to do is to consider the 4 pieces or the 2 pieces as one piece of art. So the 60 inches is going to be from the floor to, you're going to group art 1, 2, 3, 4, take the center of that, and then 60 inches from the floor to the center of your grouping is the height that you're going to have your art. And the spacing is important. A lot of people hang their art too far apart. If you're hanging a group of art, it is a group of art. It's not individual random pieces of art just plonked on your wall, which is wrong. So what I want you to do is to unify the art. That means the spacing has to be tight. So 1 to 2 inches is absolutely all that you need. And you've got your cross like so. So your spacing is 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, or 1 inch, depending on the size of the art. If you're hanging large art, it's a little bit different, because a very large piece of art, you're actually not, it's going to be hung too high if you were to take it from the floor to 60 inches. So you're actually going to reduce it down, and you're going to make this art a focal point on a wall. So you can actually have that piece of art much, much lower, dressing your wall. Another thing, if you're hanging art over a sofa or a mantelpiece, you take it lower. And if you're hanging art or a mirror even over a, hi Nullag, she always uses my 60-inch rule. It is a game changer, an absolute and utter game changer. Now, it's a very simplified version. There's a huge amount of other things that you have to take into consideration if you're hanging art, gallery walls or stairs. But we'll get into that when we get there in time. But the 60-inch rule is a wonderful, wonderful place to start, and it's so easy to remember. And for me, I don't even have to use a measuring tape anymore, because I'm 5'2". And I know from the position of my head exactly where the center of is, and where you know, where things need to go. But that took years and years and years of experience, 20 years of experience or more maybe. Now, if you're hanging over a mantelpiece, don't do what logic might incline you to do, which is, say you've got a mantelpiece and you're hanging a beautiful circular mirror or a beautiful painting above it. Do not measure from the ceiling to the top of the fireplace, or the edge of your coving to the top of the fireplace. Take a point in the middle and use that as your midpoint. That is wrong. What you need to do is to have it tighter to the fireplace than the ceiling. And all you need to do is about 8 inches is all that you need to have. So here's the bottom, here's the fireplace, here's the bottom of your art. Even 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches is all that you need to get that in exactly the right spot. I can remember once hanging an enormous, beautiful big mirror. It's now currently in storage. Over one of the fireplaces in our house. It was in our family room, and had a really, really big, wide mirror frame all around it, quite a decorative frame. And because I'm only 5'2", I actually couldn't really see myself properly in that mirror. So if you're positioning a mirror somewhere, will you please make sure that it's not too high for you, you know, that you can actually see yourself. If you've got a mirror in your hall that you want to check your hair, your makeup before you run out the door, make sure that you can actually see all of you in that mirror. So if you're hanging over a fireplace, or if you're hanging over a sofa, don't have it too high. Take it down so that it's only about, over a fireplace, 8 to 10 inches higher than the fireplace is perfect. Little thing that I've done for years is, instead of hanging a mirror over your fireplace, if you've got a traditional fireplace with a mantle, what I do is, and this works so well in a smaller room, I actually hang it over your sofa, taking it down, just like I've described, so that your sofa, the back of your sofa, is lower than the height of your fireplace. So what that does is, this big mirror actually opens out your room and visually doubles the size of the space that you've got, which is a very, very useful and fantastic thing to do. And then put a beautiful piece of art above your fireplace. Here's a random thing for you as well. When you're getting, say that you found a gorgeous print, or you found a piece of art that you needed to get framed, frame always, always, always match the frame to the art. Do not match the frame to your decor. And trust me, this works. And any artist will, this is why I think a lot of artists like to frame their own art so that they know it's not going to be destroyed or have the wrong frame put on it when you get, when you get it home. So remember that one. That's a little tip that I hadn't planned to give you, but just come randomly to me because we were talking about hanging art. But if you're picking your frame, please, please, please pick the frame to match the art. And take instruction from the people in the framing shops as well, because the right frame can absolutely make or break an art. I use a lot of white box frames in my art because they tend to suit quite contemporary art, which is mostly what I like. These pictures here were inherited. I knew they were there when we were coming. I had went to the storage unit to take two gorgeous pieces of art, contemporary art, and very colourful art that I had. There was a bit of an argument because they were quite big and somebody in the family didn't want to put them in his car because it was taking up so much space. But anyway, I got my way, went to the storage unit, grabbed the art. And when we went to put them in the car, I had mistakenly thought that the two were actually sandwiched together and wrapped together, which is, in fairness, what I would normally do. If I was moving or wrapping something up for somebody, if there was a twin art, I would absolutely. So we arrived here and I have one piece of art and I still haven't hung it because it's annoying me. So the next time I go back home, and I can't take that back on the plane, but the next time I go back home in the car, I will definitely be taking it back and you'll have my gorgeous colourful piece of art behind me because they would have been absolutely perfect for there. So anyway, that is an aside. Love your art. I love my art. My art gives me joy. I hang so much of it. I absolutely adore it. And excuse me, but it bugs me if I go into somebody's house and I see the art hanging wrong and it's generally too high or too wide apart. So remember that if you've got, and another thing too, even if you've got the most valuable piece of art and it's a small piece of art, don't just because of the virtue of its value, do not put that as a focal point in a wall. It's going to be lost. Find a space, like maybe you've got a console table or a sideboard with a lamp and that art could sit to balance the tall lamp. Find a place appropriate to it, or else group your art together. But always remember when you're grouping art that you're grouping it as a unit, so it has to be close together. The art has to complement each other in the same way as you would if you're doing a gallery wall. So if anybody has any questions, shoot them at me. There's plenty of you there, so shoot them at me and ask me. I actually put a few little pointers into my phone just to keep me right in case I remember, just things that I randomly remembered. A guideline to use, here's one. If you've got a wall and you're unsure, you want to hang, say, two pieces of art like I am doing here, and you're not sure about the proportion, here's a little mathematical equation for you. The wall width multiplied by 0.57 gives you the ideal width of the art, and then you space it. So that gives you a little, if you're a bit unsure, I would just do that by eye. Margaret, I know I'm not live on Instagram and I absolutely apologize for that. It's really complicated. I'm using StreamYard and they're linking with Instagram, which is brand new for me, for StreamYard and for Instagram. And I have to, when I go live here, I have to physically go into Instagram and hit the go live button. I thought I did, but I didn't. And when I went back in, the chance was gone for me. So I'm really sorry about that, but I will pop it up on Instagram as soon as we're finished here. It will all be there and I'll put it on my stories as well. So I'm really, really sorry. This is a learning curve for me and for the whole world, to be honest, but it's a great thing to be able to do a simultaneous broadcast, because during lockdown I could only come out to Facebook and to YouTube, and I'm still going into YouTube. So if you want to find out how much art you can hang on your wall, the whole width multiplied by 0.57 will give you the ideal width of your artwork. Yeah, I've told you this, if you're hanging a group of art, you always, even if it's 3 pieces, you always hang them. And yeah, 3 can be a little bit tricky. You might have 3 pieces of different sizes that you want. So I would put the bigger size art to one as an anchor, let's say, on this side, and then have the 2 small pieces. But again, what you do is you take 3 pieces and you calculate the midpoint of them, and that's where you get your 60 inches to to give you the spacings. That sounds a bit complicated, but it's not. It's not at all. Mess with it, try it out. If you've got art hanging around your house that you've been meaning to put up, do it this weekend. Or maybe you got a piece of art for Christmas, you know. And another thing too, in every single, thanks, Margaret. I really appreciate that. That's Maggie. Thanks a million. Lost my train of thought. Yes, if you got a piece of art for Christmas, think about where you want to put it, and now you know that you're going to put it up right. And I know what I was going to say. I guarantee behind every single piece of art in my house, you will find a multitude of hooks. I like to use those hard wall hooks. If you've got a hard wall, you know, the little white plastic ones with the three pins in them, because they are quite durable. I do not use command strips at all anymore, except possibly for Christmas decorations. I've had a few disasters and near misses with command strips, even though I adhered to, they tell you exactly the weight of the art that you can hang, and they fell off. I also had a situation where I did a gallery wall in a house with an unusual, it was a very contemporary modern build, where there was a German heating system, which was electrical panels in the wall, and we couldn't obviously put in nails or screws or whatever because we could hit something or hit wires. So I used the command strips on light frames, and because of the heat in the wall, some of them did fall off. So just be careful of the command strips. They're a brilliant idea in theory. I haven't had the best results with them, and I will not use them much anymore. Okay, what else did I tell you about? Well, the art gallery rule is that's a given, and it's because, you know, it is based on logic. It's because your eye, normal or most people's eye height, I'm smaller, is 60 inches. So that if you're in an art gallery and you're looking at the art, when you want to look at the middle of it, you don't want to be looking up, and you certainly don't want to be looking down. So you want it at a comfortable height, and that's what I want for you for your home. If you're hanging over a sofa, you might have one big picture and two smaller ones, and you want to balance them up, and you might have somebody come in to say, oh, I'll balance them. Will I put them all at the same level, as in the bottoms of each will be the same, like I have here, but this is different because they're the same size. What I would do is take the center point of the bigger one and then hang the two smaller pieces identical to that. So that it's a midpoint. It's a midpoint of the art that you're trying to hook up, not the bottom of the frame, not the top of the frame, always the midpoint, always at eye level. It makes sense. Everything's based on logic. You know, I think all interior design is all about common sense and what works. And when you find what works for you, that works really, really, really well. Actually, I'm going to tell you something. I've been telling you, and I will tell you every single day, in case you miss this, because I don't want you to miss this. I have, and Maggie has done it, Margaret has done it, and Nullik has done it, and Kavina has done it. Everybody who's commented there has done it. I have an interior design course, a masterclass, an online course called Sharing the Secrets, where I genuinely do share the secrets with you. And it's the secrets that you need to know in your home. There's no technical drawing or anything like that, or no theory. It's all practical, nuts and bolts, finding your style, helping you to find your style, even if you don't know what it is, and then helping you pick your colors and helping you hang your art. Is much more in detail than I can do here in 30 minutes. But you know, planning your kitchen, your bath, and your bedrooms, all of that's covered. It's fantastic. And it used to cost €297, which honest to God was a really, really good price and a very good value for those of you who did it, like Yvonne and Nullik, at that price. However, I reduced it before Christmas for my people, and it's now €49. Any of you can get that. I'll put the link here, and I'll put the link everywhere, because yesterday one of you had bought it, and you came back to me this morning to say, love it, absolutely love it. You're working out your style. But she had had a clothes shop, and she said, the way you've described how to pick your colors and how to work a color scheme is exactly what I used to do in fashion as well. So my theory of picking your perfect pink colors and getting your colors to work together is exactly the same as what the fashion stylists and the fashion designers, they all use that same theory. And I want you to take it as well and apply it to your interior design. Because why? Because it works. It absolutely works. And let me go back. But if anybody does want that Sharing the Secrets masterclass, because I will get to a certain level here, but there's no way I'm going to have time to give you the amount and the detail of knowledge and level and interactivity that you get within that course. And actually, somebody said to me the other day, I'm not technical, you know. can I do it? And I said, you can, of course you can. I'm not technical. You might think that I am, but I'm not. I'm absolutely an absolute technophobe. I'm very bad with tech, but I do try. But no, the course is, if you can open an email, you can do that course. It's as simple as that. A little rule of thumb too, if you're putting artwork over a sofa, 2/3 of the width of the sofa will be a really good width, unless you've got a very, very long sofa, in which case, it's going to be in proportion to the size of the sofa. It mightn't be quite 2/3 of the width, but this is why you space it together and you get the dynamic of this gorgeous piece of art, big piece of art that creates a wow. And that's what I want. And let me tell you, yes, over the years, I have invested quite a bit in art, in original art that I love. I will only buy something that I love. I will not buy something just because it's valuable, or just because the artist is popular, or because it's a good investment. I think all of the art I've bought have been good investments anyway. But the reason I bought them was because I loved them, absolutely loved them. So I want you to remember that, only buy what you love. But I also have, in addition to the original art, I've got loads and loads of prints that I framed myself or bought framed. I got loads and loads of family photographs. I mix inexpensive with expensive, and it just looks amazing. But the important thing is that you need to know how to hang it and where to hang it and how to group it. Okay, let me go back to she's looking for my Face ID there. I discovered something that's really weird, and I don't know if anybody else has got this thing happening. My phone, my photo ID doesn't recognize me if I'm not wearing makeup. Isn't that crazy? If you're in your dining room, I would consider hanging your art actually a little bit lower, because think about this, and restaurants would do this. If you're sitting at your dining table, you don't want your art to be up on 60 inches from the floor to the center of it. It might be just a bit too high. So you would do that by eye. It's a bit like when I'm hanging lights over an island or over a dining table. The spacings I do by mathematics, but the length and the drop I always do by eye. And if I am hanging lights with an electrician over a dining table, I will sit at that dining table, or if I'm at an island, I will sit on the bar stools, so to make sure that the light is down far enough to be effective, but not so far that it's in my way. And the same with the art. If I'm sitting at a dining table, I want to be able to enjoy the art, so I need it to be that little bit lower. Anybody got any questions at all? Okay. No, I don't think so. But you can always come in afterwards. Even if you come on the replay, just pretend you're live and you're here at the party and you just ask your questions. If you're hanging art up a stairs, again, remember that museum approach, 60 inches. Okay, and what I do is I will do a line on the diagonal at the midpoint of the art. Okay, so that's 60 inches from that to the bottom of the steps, and then I will stagger it. So 1, 2, 3 steps, one art, 1, 2, 3 steps, one art, 1, 2, 3 steps, one art. I can remember working in a house in Dunfanaghy in Donegal many years ago, and my client had got these enormous, beautiful original art sent to me from London, framed, and we were hanging them. And that was the first time that I had to, on the hoof, figure out, because these were big, they were challenging, it was hard, and they were heavy, so I couldn't have the guys holding them up for half the day for me to decide what height I wanted to be at. That's when I came up with the 3 steps, and that's when I came up with the diagonal line on the center of the art. And oftentimes, if you're doing art on a stair, say it is like that with 3 big pieces, I would actually position the middle piece first. Makes it so much easier to find the center point of the bottom one and top one. And oftentimes you'll have 4 pieces of art, smaller pieces going up, same principle. So 60 inches from the middle on the diagonal. And if you can do a line, a very light pencil line on the wall, on your diagonal, when you've measured it properly, it makes it very, very, very easy. What else did I write here? I think that's all I scribbled down. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about was picture walls, picture galleries. Again, the spacing is really important. If I'm doing a picture wall, and remember too, a gallery wall sometimes might be something that will evolve. Maybe it's family photographs. So you will add to this collection over time, and that's okay to start off. You don't have to have all of your photographs. What I would recommend is that you try to have similar frames. The ones that I generally use, because I love them and they are cheap as chips, are the Riva frames, excuse me, from IKEA. They come in white, they come in black, and I think they come in grey. I've never used the grey ones. I've used loads of the white ones. I've used some of the black ones, and they're fabulous, and they come in all sorts of different sizes, but the size of the frame is the same, so that gives a uniformity. So depending on the size of your photographs or pictures that you're putting in, you can do a beautiful collection. So what I do is I will put it down on the ground, and what I will do is I will always do the outline first and measure that out, and then randomly fill in the inside, because it doesn't matter how you fill it in, just do it by eye. But as long as you have the outer spacing or the outer frame and sizing right, you'll get your gallery wall. And gallery, I love gallery walls, and people are scared of doing them, and you shouldn't be. So if you have any questions about gallery walls, send me a message. Anybody else got any questions at all? No? Well, you know what? It's Friday afternoon, and I am sure that there isn't a house in the country, in the world, including my own, that has got art sitting around somewhere that you mean to put up. So you don't need a handyman unless you've got something very heavy. I have to say, I'm ashamed to admit that I can't use a drill, and I know the drills are getting lighter and lighter, and I should be able. I'm so sorry I didn't get somebody that I had a good working relationship with to show me how to use a drill, because it's a psychological thing, and it's one that I will overcome for sure. But for medium-sized frames or medium weight frames, all you need is a hammer and those little hooks that have the three little pins and little panel pins that go into the wall. And if you get it wrong, take it out and you do it again, because I've done that so many times. Behind my pictures, you'll see there's loads of marks, and I don't care. So just try it, mess around with it. Done not perfect is what I would like you to do, but I think it will be pretty perfect if you listen to the little tips that I'm. She said it's easy. This is Margaret. It's easy. I'll show you the next time we meet. You should have brought one along to our day in Dublin. Margaret was at our Finding Your Fabulous day in Dublin in the Slorgan Park Hotel in October. You should have taken your drill along and shown all of us. Well, you know what? Next time around, I might just do that. We'll have a little practical session, a breakout, learn how to use your drill, because they used to be so heavy. They're not heavy anymore. And it's just like anything. Do it once and aim for getting it done, not perfect. So that's all the news for me. I do have one more bit of news, actually. Before Christmas, some of you, I had started doing Saturday sessions on Saturday morning, 2 hours on Saturday morning, 10 to 12. And a lot of you did the journaling to change your life course, and it was brilliant. Now I have to say it was amazing. So I am starting them up again. I'll announce them probably not until Monday. But what I want to do, because I've had so much feedback on paint and people being so confused with picking the right paint color, particularly if they've got a north facing space or an east facing space. So I'm going to do a Saturday session on paint for all aspects and paint for everywhere. So basically everything that you ever need to know over paint. I do it over Zoom, and if there are handouts and notes to get, you'll get those by email. But the last session was powerful. It was amazing. And I am going to do a whole dedicated session on hanging art as well, one of the Saturdays. And because the journaling was so incredible, I'm going to do another session, because a lot of people missed it. It was just before Christmas, and it probably wasn't the best timing, but I wanted to get into it to get you started in the new year. But it's never too late to start. If you've never journaled, I honestly, for me, it's been one of the most profound things I've ever done in my life. And I was so old, it came to me so late in life when I started doing it, but really and truly, and in my boot camp, I spend a lot of time, and the girls, like and Kavina and everybody else who's there, and you're doing it, and how important it is, and if you slack off, how things tend to stop working in your life, and your mindset slips a little bit. But anyway, that's for another day. So all I want you to do is listen, and if you can't remember everything that I said, there will be a replay. Watch it again, make notes if you have to, and if you have any questions at all, or particularly if you're hanging art over the weekend, I'll be watching my social media. So if there's a question, ask me and I'll get back to you. But if you do want to up your interior design knowledge, not because you want to become an interior designer or not because you want a career in design, but simply because you want to know the knowledge. You want to know this. You've invested in your home, so you want to not buy the wrong thing again. Like, I mean, hands up, everybody's bought the wrong rug, paint color, sofa, whatever. Everybody's made a design mistake that they thought was right because they made it for the wrong reasons, and they didn't make it because they were informed and they weren't confident because of the knowledge that they had. So €49 will get you that knowledge. I don't know that it's going to be €49 forever, but for the moment, and because I've relaunched the Rim Junkie Lives, I wanted to do something. So it is there for anybody who wants it, and some of you have been doing it over the last week. And others of you, got it at Christmas time, and one of you admitted to me yesterday that you haven't done it yet, but I know it's just time. You're busy, and once you have a project to do, and even if you're not doing something at the minute, it's there as a backup. It's like your Bible. Like Kavina's she's on a second project now. She used it on her house, and she also is now using it on her fabulous big extension. Anne-Marie Jan and Carlo has used it on her home when she got it first. Then she used it to stage her home, which she did stage brilliantly and sold strongly. And now she's using it on her new house. So it is a gift that keeps on giving. So if you want to know more about that, send me a message and say secrets, because it's called Sharing Secrets, my secrets, the Rim Junkie secrets, which will become yours. So listen, have the best weekend, whatever you're doing. And I will be back here live on Monday, and I'll announce the agenda for the week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll be more careful about hitting the proper Instagram button on Monday. But the more I do it, the more I'll get used to it. And anybody who watches on Instagram, I will actually pop it up now, so you'll have it forever. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be back next week. One thing that I do know, I'm not sure which day I'm going to do it yet, but I will be doing how to create the perfect bedroom, because Anne Ward is doing her bedroom, and I told her last week, or a few days ago, that I would. So listen, have the best weekend, and I'll see you on Monday live at 1 o'clock, or on the replay if you're catching on the replay. So stay safe, stay fabulous, and do something lovely for yourself this weekend, even if it's just hanging your art properly. And now it's so bright here, I'm having trouble seeing the end broadcast button, but there we go. See you Monday, guys.